Welcome back to another Sleepy Steve story. Before we drift off tonight, remember to subscribe to help Steve-O out. I will keep making these sleepy stories to help you study gently, revise quietly, and settle your mind at the end of the day. Settle in now, and let the day begin to loosen around the edges. You do not need to rush into anything. You do not need to force yourself to remember every single detail at once. Tonight, we are simply going to move through one careful part of VCE business management, step by step, in a way that is calm enough for rest, but clear enough for revision. Before we drift further down, let us set our coordinates for tonight. We are exploring Sleepy Steve Business Management, Unit 3, Area of Study 1. This is Episode 14, and our focus is management styles, management skills, and corporate culture. In our last episode, we settled into the foundations of Unit 3. We looked at what a business is trying to do, why objectives matter, how stakeholders can be affected, and why managers are so important in guiding a business towards efficiency and effectiveness. Tonight, we go deeper into the manager's toolkit. We will think about the different ways a manager can make decisions. We will think about how a manager can communicate, delegate, plan, and lead. And we will think about the feel of a workplace, the tone in the room, the shared values, habits, and expectations that make up corporate culture. Picture a business at the end of a long day. The lights are still on in the main office. A delivery truck has just pulled away from the loading bay. In the staff room, a roster is pinned neatly to the wall. On one desk, a manager has left a notebook open, with tomorrow's priorities written in a slow, careful list. Every business has objectives. It might want to increase profit, improve customer satisfaction, expand market share, improve productivity, reduce waste, or build a stronger public reputation. But objectives do not achieve themselves. People have to be guided. Decisions have to be made. Problems have to be solved. Staff have to understand what is expected, and they have to feel that the workplace makes sense. So, take a slow breath in and let it go. Tonight, we are simply walking through a business after hours, looking quietly at how management works. Let us begin with management styles. A management style is the way a manager behaves when making decisions, communicating with staff, and directing the work of the business. In VCE business management, you need to understand that no style is automatically good or bad. Each style can be appropriate in some situations and less appropriate in others. The key is to match the style to the circumstances of the business. Imagine a manager standing at the center of a workplace. Sometimes they may need to act quickly and give clear instructions. Sometimes they may need to persuade people that a decision is right. Sometimes they may need to ask staff for advice before choosing a direction. Sometimes they may want staff to help make the decision itself. And sometimes, if the staff are highly skilled and experienced, the manager may step back and allow them to work with a great deal of independence. These different approaches are captured by 5 common management styles. First, there is the autocratic style. This is the most controlling approach. The manager makes decisions alone and tells employees exactly what to do. Communication is strictly one way, from top to bottom, with little to no employee input. In an emergency, a crisis, a safety issue, or a need for very quick action, an autocratic style creates instant clarity. There is no delay while everyone discusses options. However, because employees are not consulted, they may feel ignored or undervalued. This can reduce motivation, lower morale, and mean the business misses out on great ideas from staff who understand the day-to-day work best. Next is the persuasive style. Here, the manager still makes the decision alone, but then they explain it carefully to the staff. They try to sell the decision, providing reasons, benefits, and evidence to gain acceptance. This is useful when a decision has already been made by senior management, but staff need to understand why it is happening, like introducing new technology or shifting rosters. It reduces confusion and resistance. The drawback is that staff still have zero real influence over the final outcome, which can limit their sense of ownership. Then, we move to the consultative style. This involves the manager seeking input from employees before making the final decision. They ask questions, gather views, and consider suggestions. But the manager still holds the ultimate veto. Staff often have brilliant practical knowledge about where delays occur or what customers actually want. By consulting them, the manager makes a better decision, and staff feel respected. However, consultation takes time. If a manager asks for input but routinely ignores it without explanation, employees can become deeply frustrated. Fourth is the participative style. This is a much more democratic approach where the manager and employees make decisions together. Communication flows freely two ways, and staff are actively involved in directing the business. This is exceptional for fostering innovation, teamwork, and strong commitment. Staff feel trusted and naturally take ownership of decisions they helped create. On the downside, it can be highly time-consuming. It does not suit emergencies or situations where employees lack the necessary technical knowledge to make an informed choice. Finally, there is the laissez-faire style. This means the manager takes a completely hands-off approach. Employees are given near total freedom to manage their own work and make their own decisions. This is perfect for teams of highly skilled, self-motivated professionals, like design teams, researchers, or senior project groups who thrive on independence. The weakness is that without clear direction, some employees may feel unsupported. Work can become inconsistent, deadlines might slide, and accountability can weaken. When we compare management styles, we are really asking, what does the business need in this exact moment? Does it need speed? Autocratic or persuasive might be suitable. Does it need employee knowledge? Consultative may be appropriate. Does it need ownership and teamwork? Participative is stronger. Does it have independent experts? Laissez-faire may work. In an exam response, the strongest answers do not simply list definitions. They link the style directly to the business situation, explaining why it helps or hinders the achievement of objectives. A style is not just a vocabulary word. It is a choice made in context. Now, let us move smoothly from management styles to management skills. If a management style is the overall approach a manager uses, management skills are the specific abilities a manager applies to get the job done. A manager might choose a consultative style, but they still need strong communication. They might choose a participative style, but they still need planning. Even in an autocratic crisis, they need leadership and interpersonal skills to keep everyone calm. Let us walk through the 6 essential management skills. Communication is the transfer of information from one person to another. It can be verbal, written, or nonverbal. Good communication reduces misunderstandings and ensures expectations are perfectly clear. If a manager rushes an explanation of a new customer service procedure, staff apply it inconsistently and customer satisfaction drops. Clear communication links directly to performance. Delegation means assigning authority and responsibility to another person to carry out specific tasks. The manager remains ultimately accountable, but the workload is shared. This frees up the manager for strategic planning while developing the skills and confidence of the staff. Planning involves setting clear objectives and deciding on the best strategies to achieve them. It connects available resources with final goals. Planning supports both efficiency, which means using resources well without waste, and effectiveness, which means achieving the actual objective. Decision-making is the ability to identify options, evaluate alternatives, and choose a firm course of action. Strong decision-making involves weighing pros and cons, considering stakeholders, and picking the path that best serves the business goals. Leadership is the ability to influence, guide, and inspire others to achieve goals. A great leader provides clear direction and models the right behavior. Staff watch what managers do far more than what they say. Finally, interpersonal skills are the abilities used to interact, empathize, and build relationships with others. Because people are not machines, they respond to tone, fairness, and respect. A manager could know every technical detail of an industry, but if they lack interpersonal skills, employee morale will suffer. To summarize the toolkit, communication clarifies, delegation distributes, planning organizes, decision-making chooses, leadership inspires, and interpersonal skills hold the human side of the business together. Now, we step quietly into corporate culture. Corporate culture is the shared values, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors that characterize a business. It is the way things are done around here. It is the tone of the workplace, what gets rewarded and what gets ignored. In business management, you must understand the distinction between two types of culture. Official corporate culture is the culture the business claims to have. You see it written neatly in mission statements, vision statements, slogans, policy documents, and values posters on the wall. A business might proudly state that it values innovation, teamwork, and absolute customer care. Real corporate culture is what actually happens day to day. It is reflected in real employee behavior. If a business claims to value teamwork, but staff compete aggressively and hide information from each other, the real culture is competitive, not collaborative. If a business claims to value safety, but managers routinely cut corners to save time, the real culture is speed over safety. Culture is influenced by many things. Leadership behavior matters because managers set the standard. Honest, organized leaders create honest, organized cultures. Rituals and routines like regular team meetings or safety briefings reinforce what matters. Symbols such as uniforms, office layouts, and awards all communicate quiet meaning. And finally, formal policies regarding equal opportunity or customer service provide structural support for the culture. Culture cannot be changed overnight by simply hanging a new poster in the break room. Culture changes through repeated, consistent behavior. And once a culture exists, it directly dictates how easily a business can achieve its objectives. A positive culture drives motivation and productivity. A negative culture breeds resistance and costly errors. Let us settle these ideas into a small, quiet case study. Imagine a medium-sized business called Harbor Rise Bakery. It has grown over the years. It now features a retail store, a production kitchen, a delivery van, an online ordering system, and a dedicated team of 25 employees. The owner, Asha, has set two clear business objectives: improve customer satisfaction and reduce waste. Recently, Asha notices that staff are confused about online orders. Cakes are being baked too early, delivery notes are being missed, and leftover stock is being thrown away at the end of the day. Asha could choose an autocratic approach, simply issuing a strict new checklist and demanding everyone follow it without question. This would be fast and create immediate clarity, but she would miss out on the practical insights of the staff doing the actual work. Instead, Asha chooses a consultative style. She holds a gentle meeting and asks the kitchen staff, the front counter staff, and the delivery driver where the errors are occurring. She uses her communication and interpersonal skills to listen carefully. Armed with their practical feedback, she applies her planning and decision-making skills to design a brand new online order procedure. She then delegates the task of trialing this new checklist to a senior baker, providing clear guidelines and support. Finally, her leadership shines through as she publicly thanks the team and explains how their ideas are directly helping the bakery reduce waste. Over time, the real corporate culture shifts. Employees see that their knowledge is valued, so they become more proactive and open about solving problems. The business becomes more efficient because ingredients are no longer wasted, and it becomes more effective because customer satisfaction improves. As you get sleepier, let us gently place a few structural exam reminders on the shelf. When analyzing these concepts under exam conditions, always lean on a steady, rhythmic pattern. First, identify the concept, then apply it to the scenario, and finally explain the exact effect on business objectives. For styles, remember the core axes: decision-making control and the direction of communication. Always look at the scenario context to determine appropriateness. For skills, never just say a skill is important. Explain how it functions. For example, clear communication ensures staff understand assembly procedures, which reduces manufacturing defects, thereby improving efficiency and lowering production costs. For culture, look for clues in the text. A written quote from a website shows official culture, while statistics on high staff turnover or employee complaints reveal the real culture. And now, we can let the business grow completely quiet again. The office lights are dim, the kitchen ovens have cooled down, the last computer monitor has gone to sleep, and the manager's notebook is closed. Tomorrow's decisions can wait safely until the morning. Tonight, you have walked through management styles: autocratic, persuasive, consultative, participative, and laissez-faire. You have explored the essential management skills and felt the subtle, powerful presence of corporate culture. All of these pieces connect to guide a business toward efficiency and effectiveness. You do not need to hold every single detail tightly right now. Let the ideas rest lightly, like scattered notes on a tidy desk at the end of the day. Autocratic, persuasive, consultative, participative, laissez-faire, communication, delegation, planning, decision-making, leadership, interpersonal skills, official culture, and real culture. All of it can settle now. Sleep well, and when you return to this topic in the daylight, the path will already feel completely familiar.